Welcome to week 8 of Vacation Bible School. And this week we're making cool tie-dye filter art. Alright, in your kit to make the tie-dye, you have coffee filters. Now if you didn't get a kit, you can still make this craft. You of course could use a coffee filter that you have at your house. We use these brown ones and that would work just fine. If you don't have a coffee filter, a plain paper towel or a plain napkin would work also as well. You're just going to need to be careful if you're going to use a napkin or a paper towel to press a little bit more gently. You'll need some water, just a cup of water, and I have a couple brushes here and a straw. Really what we're trying to do is we're going to be coloring this, and then we need to wet it to spread out the dye from the markers. And you can experiment with which the best way for you to do it. I prefer the nice paintbrush. And then the markers of the color, any color that you want. I just kind of have the basic colors here. And you want to make sure that you're using markers that aren't permanent markers. So just like the regular markers that you would have from school. Now it's time to color your filter. You can use any design and color you want. Make it as exciting as you can. And I finished my design and I just kind of free-formed it. And like I said, I prefer just a paintbrush. And you're going to want to put a piece of paper underneath because it does get a little messy. Or use an old towel. And what you want to do is make sure you're putting plenty of water on, because it's going to make the colors from your markers run together. Like I said, I prefer a paintbrush, but you can do drops from like a straw. I just like the paintbrush because then I can have a little more control of where I smear it, and where the colors go. And you have 3 different filters in your kit, but you could do this, like I said, with filters you have at home, with napkins or paper towels, and kind of experiment with how it looks when you use different designs. And again, the key is to not use permanent markers, because permanent markers won't run like these Crayola ones did. And then once it dries, we'll talk a little bit more about what you can do with them. Alright, so my tie-dye filters have had a chance to dry. This one was just kind of blobs of different shapes. You can see how they all kind of mushed together. This one I really like. The full colors all went together, and I just did shapes throughout the filter. This one is neat as well. Stripes coming out from the center. This one is a fun one where it's spiral and lines. And then this is another spiral. And if you decide after you've let it dry from getting it wet that it needs some more color, you can go back in and do it all over again. Add more marker, put some more water, and let it dry again. Now for those of you who didn't get a craft kit that are using paper towels and napkins, this is how my paper towel looked. It turned out really good. This would be fun to then, after it's done like this, cut it and make it into a cool shape. Now this surprisingly turned out awesome. This is the napkin. Now look, if you look at it, you can see where I did one square and it has mirror images all over. And look how great these tie-dye filters and napkins and paper towels look when you hang them up and the light shines through. Almost like a stained glass window. It's been great crafting with you these last few weeks. Stay safe and we'll see you soon.